Commander Alan Pierce rubbed his tired eyes as he stood on the bridge of Earth's biggest space station. The station hung in orbit above the blue-green planet below. Today was the day humanity would finally meet aliens for the first time. "Sir, the alien ship is approaching," said Officer Judy Miller, her voice shaking with excitement. "It's huge." Alan looked through the large view screen. His mouth fell open. The alien ship was massive, pure white and smooth, shaped like a giant teardrop. It made their space station look like a child's toy. "Ready the welcome team," Alan ordered. "And remember, we represent all of Earth today." The ship belonged to something called the Galactic Council, a group of 17 different alien species who worked together to govern this part of the Milky Way. After centuries of wondering if we were alone in the universe, humanity finally had its answer. The council ship docked with careful precision. When the airlock doors opened, Alan felt his heart race. The aliens were real, and they were here. Ambassador Zor Thul led the alien delegation. He stood nearly 7 feet tall with a body covered in shimmering blue-green feathers. His face looked somewhat bird-like, with intelligent orange eyes that seemed to see everything at once. "We greet Earth and its people," Zor Thul said, his voice translated through a small device on his chest. "The Galactic Council welcomes you as friends." The meeting room erupted in applause. Camera flashes lit up the space as reporters captured humanity's first official contact with alien life. Later that evening at the formal dinner, Zor Thul raised a glass filled with water. "To Earth, a young world with remarkable potential. We look forward to sharing knowledge and building peace together." News of the aliens spread across Earth like wildfire. People celebrated in streets worldwide. For the first time in history, all countries put aside their differences to focus on this new relationship with the stars. Lieutenant Samantha Wright never expected to become so important. As one of Earth's best linguists, she was assigned to work directly with the aliens. Her job was to learn their languages and help humans understand alien cultures. "Your ability to learn is impressive," said Kira Val, a female alien from a planet orbiting Proxima Centauri. She had purple skin and 4 arms, but her smile seemed genuine. Most species take years to grasp council languages. Samantha and Kira Val became something like friends over the next few months. They shared stories about their homeworlds and families. Kira Val seemed fascinated by human music and art. "Your species creates so much so quickly," she told Samantha during one of their cultural exchange sessions. "My people might spend 50 years composing a single song." Earth changed rapidly during the 6 months after first contact. The council shared some of their technology: better solar panels, cleaner energy systems, and medicines that could cure several diseases. Countries formed a united Earth government to deal with alien matters. Scientists worked with alien teachers to learn new things. Space travel improved. It seemed like a golden age was beginning, but not everyone trusted the aliens. Colonel Eric Daniels worked for Earth's military intelligence. His job was to watch for threats, and something about the council bothered him deeply. "Notice what they're not sharing," he said during a private meeting with Commander Pierce and other military leaders. "Nothing about their weapons. Nothing about their faster-than-light travel systems. Nothing truly important." He pulled up images on a screen showing council members examining Earth's defense systems and military bases. "They're studying us," Eric insisted. "I've managed to decode some of their private communications. They keep mentioning something called containment protocol. Does that sound friendly to you?" Alan frowned. "Do you have proof?" "Not enough," Eric admitted. "But they're hiding something big. I'm sure of it." Most officials dismissed Eric's concerns. The aliens had been nothing but helpful. Trade was beginning. Cultural exchanges were happening daily. Why would the council pretend to be friendly if they weren't? Samantha was having dinner with Kiraval in the diplomatic quarter when the first explosions shook the building. "What's happening?" Samantha asked, grabbing the table as the floor trembled. Kiraval didn't answer. Her 4 hands remained perfectly still on the table. For the first time since they'd met, she wouldn't meet Samantha's eyes. That's when Samantha knew. "You knew this was coming," she whispered. Outside the window, bright flashes lit up the night sky. On the street below, people ran in panic as strange aircraft with council markings flew overhead. Samantha's phone buzzed with an emergency alert. Reports were coming in from around the world. Council ships were attacking every major city simultaneously. Orbital defenses were already destroyed. Military bases were hit first, followed by power stations, communication centers, and transportation hubs. The space station where Commander Pierce had first greeted the aliens was now a ball of expanding fire and debris. The main communication, screens across the city suddenly activated. Ambassador Zorthul's face appeared, his once friendly expression now cold and detached. "People of Earth," he said calmly, "the Galactic Council has determined that humanity represents an unacceptable risk to galactic stability. Your species develops technology too rapidly and shows concerning aggressive tendencies. This containment action, while regrettable, is necessary for the greater good." Samantha stared at her alien friend in disbelief as buildings burned outside. "Why?" she demanded, tears streaming down her face. "We welcomed you. We trusted you." Kira Val finally looked up, her large eyes filled with what might have been sadness. "Your kind learns too quickly," she said softly. "In the 100 years it takes my people to develop one new technology, humans would create 20. The Council has seen this pattern before. Fast-developing species eventually overtake the older races. They change everything. The Council exists to maintain stability. So you're killing us because we might become too advanced someday?" Samantha asked in horror. "The Council decided Earth must be reset," Kira Val explained. "Your technology will be destroyed, your population reduced. Survivors will be monitored to ensure they don't rebuild too quickly." Outside, another explosion rocked the city. The lights flickered and went out. In the darkness, Samantha could hear distant screams and the strange humming of alien weapons. Humanity's first contact with alien life had been a lie. And now, Earth was fighting for its very survival. 3 years passed since the aliens attacked Earth. The planet looked very different now. Many cities lay in ruins. Farms were burned, roads cracked and broken. At night, few lights shone where once millions had glittered. The Galactic Council believed they had won. They thought humans had been beaten back to simple farming and basic tools. They thought Earth's military was destroyed and its technology wiped out. They were wrong. Deep under the Rocky Mountains in North America, in a massive cave system built long ago to survive nuclear war, General Olivia Martinez walked through a busy underground city. The sound of machines hummed in the background. People moved with purpose, carrying tools and supplies. Olivia was 45 years old with dark hair streaked with gray. She had been a high-ranking officer before the attack. Now she led what remained of Earth's unified military. She entered a large meeting room where 20 people waited around a metal table. Some wore military uniforms. Others dressed in simple clothes but had the tired eyes of people who hadn't slept properly in years. "Report," Olivia said as she took her seat. Dr. William Carter stood up. He was a thin man with glasses and messy hair. Before the attack, he had worked at a famous research lab. Now he led Earth's Science Division. "Project Phoenix is working," he said with a small smile. The first real smile Olivia had seen in months. "We've taken the alien tech from the ships we captured and combined it with our own ideas. The results are better than we hoped." Murmurs of excitement filled the room. Project Phoenix was humanity's best hope, a plan to create weapons and ships that could fight back against the Council. "Show me," Olivia said. Dr. Carter pressed a button and a 3D image appeared above the table. It showed a sleek black ship smaller than the Council vessels but clearly built for speed. "We've made 5 so far," Dr. Carter explained. "They use Council engine parts but with our modifications. They're faster than anything the aliens have. And their weapons—" He pressed another button. The image changed to show a strange-looking gun. "We discovered something important about Council technology," he continued. "Their shields block energy weapons perfectly, but they never developed certain types of weapons we use. They have a major weakness, and we can exploit it." Captain Henry Grant spoke next. He was a young officer with a scar across his face from the early days of the invasion. He commanded one of the new ships, named EDF Vengeance. "I took my ship to the edge of our solar system," he reported. "Council presence is minimal now. They left only a few patrol ships. They think we're finished." Lieutenant Kyle Reese nodded in agreement. He was the one who had first discovered the flaw in Council shields 6 months after the attack. While hiding in the wreckage of a downed alien ship, he noticed how their shield technology worked, and more importantly, how it could be beaten. "Their ships are designed to stop laser weapons and plasma," Kyle explained. "But good old-fashioned kinetic weapons, things that physically hit their target, those go right through their shields if tuned to the right frequency." Olivia looked around the room. For 3 years they had hidden, survived, gathered survivors, built a network of underground bases connected by secret tunnels, collected alien technology from crashed ships, studied, learned, planned. The aliens had expected humans to fight among themselves after the attack. Instead, the survivors united like never before. Every human now worked toward one goal: survival of their species. "What about the people?" Olivia asked, turning to Chief Susan Palmer, who managed the civilian population. "We have 32 underground settlements now," Susan reported. "About 2 million people total. Everyone works, growing food, making supplies, taking care of children, or supporting military operations." "The aliens still don't suspect?" Olivia asked. "No," replied Major Frank Cooper, head of intelligence. "Their patrols check the surface, but they don't search underground. They believe the few human settlements they monitor are all that's left of us." Frank pulled out a tablet and showed satellite images of small villages where some humans lived openly. These communities pretended to be simple farmers, hiding any technology when alien ships flew over. They served as a perfect distraction while the real work happened underground. Then Samantha Wright, now a major, stepped forward. She had escaped the initial attack and made it to the underground base with valuable information about the Council. For 3 years, she had studied everything about the aliens, their languages, culture, technology, and weaknesses. "I have a plan," she said. "Operation Trojan Horse." She explained how she and a small team could use a captured Council shuttle to infiltrate their nearest outpost, a space station orbiting Mars. The station served as the local headquarters for the aliens watching over the contained Earth. "We've copied their identification codes," Samantha explained, "and I can speak 4 of their languages perfectly now. We can get inside, gather intelligence, and plant these." She held up a small device the size of a coin. "Quantum disruptors," Dr. Carter explained. "They'll disable their communications and weapons systems when activated." Olivia stood and walked to a large map showing Earth and the surrounding space. 3 years ago, they tried to wipe us out," she said. "They thought they were being merciful by not killing everyone, just enough to push us back to a primitive state. They wanted to contain us like animals in a zoo." Her eyes moved across the faces of everyone in the room. These people had lost homes, friends, family. They had survived, and now they were ready. "The Council made one huge mistake," Olivia continued. "They judged us by their standards. In their long-lived species, a devastating attack would mean centuries of recovery. But humans adapt. We find ways to survive, and we never forget." She pointed to the map, to the Mars space station that would be their first target. "This is where we start taking back what's ours," she said. "Operation Trojan Horse begins in 2 days. Captain Grant, prepare your ships. Major Wright, get your infiltration team ready." Around the table, heads nodded. Faces showed determination, not fear. "They think we're beaten," Olivia finished, her voice echoing in the underground chamber. "Let's show them how wrong they are." As the meeting ended, Samantha walked through the busy tunnels of the underground base. People nodded to her as she passed. Children ran by, playing games in the artificial light. In one large cave, farmers grew food under special lamps. In another, workers assembled weapons. Humanity had gone underground, but it hadn't given up. And soon, the Galactic Council would learn a painful lesson. Never corner a species that had survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and every disaster nature could throw at them. Humans didn't just survive, they fought back. The Galactic Council's space station orbited the red planet Mars like a giant metal flower. Inside, alien officials from many worlds managed the Earth Containment Project. They believed humans were now living simple lives, unable to threaten anyone. Council member Zalteth sat in the main control room. He was from a species called the Arcturians, tall beings with gray skin and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. He found monitor duty boring. Nothing interesting ever happened around contained planets. "Sir, a council supply ship is requesting permission to dock," reported a junior officer with green scales. "Routine delivery?" Zalteth asked without much interest. "Yes, sir. Everything checks out." "Allow them to dock," Zalteth said, turning back to his reports. The ship that docked looked exactly like a council supply vessel. Its identification codes matched records perfectly. The crew members who stepped out wore standard council uniforms, but they were not council members. Major Samantha Wright led the human infiltration team. Her alien disguise was perfect. A combination of makeup, prosthetics, and a voice modifier made her appear and sound like a Centaurian. Behind her came Lieutenant Ryan Cooper, Specialist Lisa Jackson, and Engineer Greg Hoffman, all similarly disguised. "Supply delivery for Level 3, Samantha said in perfect Centaurian language. "Standard replacement parts." The dock officer barely looked up from his screen. "Put them in storage room 5. Samantha and her team pushed their cargo containers through the station. Inside those containers were not replacement parts but quantum disruptors, devices designed to shut down council technology. "How much time do we need?" Ryan whispered as they entered an empty hallway. 15 minutes to plant all the devices," Samantha replied quietly. "Then we send the signal." The team split up, each carrying disguised equipment. They placed small, coin-sized devices at key locations: the shield generator, communication arrays, weapon systems, and engine controls. The aliens paid little attention to maintenance workers. The team moved freely through the station, completing their mission. Meanwhile, at the edge of the solar system, a fleet of 50 black ships waited in the shadow of Pluto. These were Earth's new warships, built in secret over 3 years. They were smaller than Council ships, but faster and armed with weapons specifically designed to exploit Council weaknesses. Admiral Diana Blackwood stood on the bridge of the largest ship, the EDF. Retribution. She was a tall woman with short gray hair who had commanded naval ships before the alien attack. Now she commanded humanity's space fleet. "All ships report ready, Admiral," said her second-in-command. Diana checked the time. Samantha's team should have planted the disruptors by now. Prepare to jump. On the Mars station, Samantha's team returned to their ship. As they prepared to leave, an alarm suddenly blared. "Unauthorized access detected in the main computer system," announced a voice over the station speakers. "Someone noticed our hack," Greg said, his face pale under the alien makeup. "We need to hurry." Too late for a quiet exit, Samantha decided. "Plan B. Ryan, signal the fleet." Ryan pressed a button on his wrist device. Signal sent. Back at Pluto, Admiral Blackwood received the alert. "That's our cue. Earlier than expected. All ships, prepare for hyperspace jump." The human fleet activated their engines. Technology stolen from the Council but modified by human engineers. The black ships disappeared in flashes of light. On the Mars station, Council member Zalteth rushed to the control room. "What's happening?" he demanded. "Someone accessed restricted files," reported an officer, "and we've detected the supply ship sending an unauthorized transmission." "Lock down that ship immediately," Zalteth ordered, "and scan the system for he." Never finished his sentence. Multiple alarms blared as the station's sensors detected ships appearing from hyperspace. Dozens of them. "Multiple ships detected," shouted a panicked operator. "Configuration unknown." The view screen showed black ships appearing around the station. They didn't look like any vessels the Council had ever seen. "Impossible," Zalteth whispered. "The humans were contained." "Sir, we can't identify these ships," the operator continued. Our sensors can't get clear readings. The human ships had been designed to absorb sensor scans rather than reflect them. Council systems couldn't properly track them. Raise shields. Prepare defense systems, Zalteth ordered. Nothing happened. Sir, shields aren't responding, reported another officer. Weapon systems are offline, communications are down. Throughout the station, the quantum disruptors that Samantha's team had planted were now active, shutting down critical systems. Admiral Blackwood's voice came through on all Council communication devices. Attention, Galactic Council Station. This is Admiral Diana Blackwood of the Earth Defense Fleet. Your shields and weapons are disabled. Surrender now or be destroyed. Zalteth couldn't believe what he was hearing. Humans weren't supposed to have spaceships, let alone a fleet. They weren't supposed to have advanced technology. They were supposed to be living in mud huts, starting over from nothing. Sir, what do we do? Asked an officer, voice shaking with fear. Before Zalteth could answer, the doors to the control room slid open. Samantha Wright and her team entered, but they had removed their disguises. They wore black uniforms with Earth Defense Fleet patches, and they carried weapons. Hello, Samantha said in perfect Council standard language. We'd like to discuss the terms of your surrender. This is impossible, Zalteth said, staring at the humans. Your planet was contained. Your technology was destroyed. You made a big mistake, Samantha replied. You judged us by your standards. You thought destroying our cities would break our spirit. You thought we would give up. Outside the viewports, more human ships surrounded the station. Some had already captured the few Council patrol ships in orbit, which had been caught completely by surprise. Humans adapt, Samantha continued. We survive, and we remember. Within hours, the Mars station and all Council ships in the solar system belonged to humans. Admiral Blackwood's fleet secured the entire area, capturing intact Council vessels and important computer data. Samantha's team downloaded the station's databases, gaining valuable intelligence about Council territories, defenses, and weaknesses. They learned the locations of other Council bases, fleet movements, and communication codes. The most important discovery was a complete map of Council space. Now humans knew exactly where to strike next. In the station's main control room now, serving as Earth's forward command center, Admiral Blackwood met with Samantha and the other team leaders. Phase 1 complete, Diana said. The Council still doesn't know what happened here. Their communications are cut off. By the time they realize they've lost this station, we'll be ready for Phase 2. She looked at the star map showing nearby Council systems. This is just the beginning, she said. Now we take the fight to them. On Earth, General Olivia Martinez received the news of their first victory. In the underground command center, cheers echoed through the rocky chambers. For the first time in 3 years, humans celebrated. The counterattack had begun, and the Galactic Council was about to learn a harsh lesson about humanity. 6 months passed since humans took the Mars station. During that time, Earth's fleet attacked 12 Council star systems, freeing planets that had been under Council control and capturing more alien ships and technology. The Council never expected such rapid attacks. They had always fought wars slowly over decades or centuries, but humans fought differently, striking fast, disappearing, then hitting another target before the Council could respond. On the Council's capital world, Celestia Prime, emergency alarms rang through the grand meeting hall. The room was huge, with a high ceiling and walls made of shimmering crystal. Representatives from all 17 member species had gathered for an emergency meeting. This is unacceptable, shouted Vorath, a large reptile-like being with red scales. Humans were contained. How did they build a fleet? How did they develop hyperspace technology? High Counselor Zelnor, the oldest and wisest member of the Council, sat quietly watching the angry representatives argue. She was from one of the first species to join the Council, over 10,000 years ago. Her people looked somewhat like tall, thin humans with pale blue skin and silver hair. We fundamentally misunderstood them, she finally said, her soft voice somehow cutting through the noise. The room fell silent. When the High Counselor spoke, everyone listened. Please explain, High Counselor, said one of the younger representatives. Zelnor touched a control panel, and a holographic display of Earth appeared above the center of the room. When we attacked their world, she explained, we expected them to fragment, to fight among themselves as most species do in crisis. Instead, they unified completely. She changed the display to show human ships attacking Council bases. We expected them to take centuries to rebuild. Instead, they adapted our technology in just 3 years. We expected them to be broken. Instead, they became stronger. The door at the far end of the chamber suddenly opened. Guards rushed in, weapons ready. "What is the meaning of this?" demanded Vorath. The guards stepped aside. 2 humans entered the chamber, Admiral Diana Blackwood and General Olivia Martinez. They walked calmly to the center of the room, seemingly unafraid despite being surrounded by aliens who had tried to destroy their world. The council members stared in shock. Humans weren't supposed to know where Celestia Prime was, let alone walk into their most secure meeting place. "We come with terms," Diana announced, her voice strong and clear. "Terms?" spluttered Vorath. "You dare offer terms to us? We are the Galactic Council. We have ruled space for 50,000 years. Olivia looked around the room. "And yet in 6 months a contained species has captured 12 of your systems, disabled your main fleets, and now stands in your council chamber. Perhaps it's time to listen." Zelnor gestured for quiet as other council members began shouting. "Let us hear these terms," she said. Diana activated a small device, projecting a new image over the room, a plan for a reorganized galactic community. What the council saw surprised them. Humans weren't demanding revenge. They weren't asking for the council to surrender. Instead, they proposed a new form of galactic government, one where all species had equal voice, not just the oldest ones. "We could continue this war," Olivia explained. "Our analysis shows we would win completely within 2 years, but that would cost millions of lives on both sides." "Why should we trust you?" asked a representative with tentacles instead of arms. "You attacked our outposts." "After you tried to wipe out our species," Diana pointed out. "But we're not here for revenge. We're offering a chance to build something better." The human proposal showed a new system where planets could choose their own leaders, where trade would be fair for everyone, and where knowledge would be shared, not controlled. The old council model was failing, Diana continued. Many species already wanted to break away. We've spoken to leaders on the worlds we liberated. They want this new system. The council chamber erupted in argument. Some representatives shouted angrily, others whispered among themselves, seeing the logic in the human plan. Later that day, High Counselor Zelnor met privately with the human leaders. "Your proposal will change everything about galactic civilization," she said, studying the humans carefully. "Change is necessary," Admiral Blackwood replied. "The old system was already breaking down. You know this." Zelnor nodded slowly. "Many on the council fear change. We live for thousands of years. Our societies evolve slowly. But humans, we adapt," Olivia finished for her. "It's how we survive." "You could have demanded our surrender," Zelnor noted. "Why didn't you?" Diana smiled. "Because we want to build, not destroy. Earth was nearly wiped out. We don't want to do the same to others." The High Counselor looked thoughtful. "Perhaps that is why you recovered so quickly from our attack. Other species would have spent centuries rebuilding their cities first. You focused on survival and fighting back." "Different priorities," Olivia agreed. "You value stability. We value progress. And that," Zelnor said quietly, "is exactly why the council feared you." 1 year later, the newly formed Galactic Alliance held its first official meeting. Representatives from all 17 former council species attended, along with delegates from 12 newly discovered civilizations that had avoided council attention. The meeting took place on a rebuilt space station orbiting Earth. The station was a symbol of humanity's recovery, larger and more advanced than anything they had before the attack. Commander Alan Pierce, the same man who had first greeted the council ship 4 years earlier, now served as Earth's ambassador to the Alliance. He stood at the observation window, watching ships from dozens of different worlds moving peacefully around Earth. Samantha Wright joined him. After her key role in the counterattack, she now worked as a cultural liaison, helping different species understand each other better. It's hard to believe how much has changed, she said, watching the activity outside the window. 4 years ago, we didn't even know aliens existed. Alan nodded. And 3 years ago, they nearly wiped us out. In a way, we should thank them, Samantha said with a small smile. Without their attack, Earth might have stayed divided for centuries. Countries might still be fighting each other instead of working together. Below them, Earth looked beautiful. Blue oceans, green and brown land, white clouds swirling in the atmosphere. Cities had been rebuilt. People lived normal lives again. The planet had healed. The Council attacked us because they feared what we might become, Alan said. They never realized that by trying to destroy us, they created exactly what they feared most, a unified humanity that wouldn't accept their limitations. Around them, aliens and humans worked together, building a new future. News of Earth's story spread throughout the galaxy, the small blue planet whose people refused to be destroyed, who fought back against impossible odds, and who then offered peace instead of revenge. The message was clear to all civilizations in the Milky Way. Humanity would not be contained. The end.